Most people live like puppets, their strings pulled by fear, habit, and impulse. They think they're free, but every move is scripted, predictable, almost mechanical. They drift through life reacting, guessing, hoping for luck, blind to the patterns guiding them. Every word they speak, every gesture they make, every decision they take, it follows an invisible rhythm they don't even realize exists, like dancers tracing steps written long before they enter the room. The ones who truly win, they don't stumble. They see the invisible threads before anyone else does. They notice the slightest shift, the tiniest hesitation, the spark of thought before it becomes action. While others flail in chaos, they are already 3 steps ahead. They don't chase life, they control it before it begins, shaping outcomes while the rest of the crowd still debates their first move. Imagine walking into a room and knowing, before a word is spoken, who will resist, who will comply, who is hiding, and who is about to make a fatal mistake. Picture it, a quiet hum of conversation, a dozen bodies moving at random, yet to you every twitch is a headline. Imagine seeing decisions forming in someone's mind before they even realize it themselves. That's not intuition, that's mastery, that's power, and that's what you're about to learn. Because the truth is, most people are predictable. They repeat loops over and over, unconsciously patterns in their conversations, their choices, their reactions. Once you learn to spot these loops, once you train yourself to read the signals everyone else misses, you won't just predict behavior, you'll direct it, guiding events the way a hidden current guides a ship. Step 1. Map their normal, build the baseline. Before you can read anyone, you must establish their default state, how they behave when they think no one's paying attention. This is your blueprint, the raw data that every later insight depends on. Without it, every signal you see will mislead you, like reading a map without knowing which way is north. Observation framework, speech rhythm, note pace, vocabulary, favorite filler words, and the natural rise and fall of their voice. Do they cut their sentences short, stretch vowels, repeat key phrases without noticing? Each habit is a thread you can tug later. Gestures and posture. Do they sit like a coiled spring or melt into the chair? Are their shoulders open or closed, their feet pointing toward the door or anchored toward you? Even the angle of a wrist carries meaning once you've recorded the baseline. Facial set points. Memorize the neutral position of brows, jaw, and mouth corners. Even a half-millimeter shift later will scream a silent confession. People think they can fake a smile. They can't fake the micro muscles that create it. Energy signature. Calm, restless, quick to laugh, easily bored. That signature is the background hum you'll measure against your silent soundtrack of their ordinary self. Deep practice. Spend at least one full conversation just observing, no analysis, no judgment. Track their breathing pattern, the micro pauses between thoughts, the way their eyes move when they recall a memory versus when they invent a story. Take mental snapshots. Build a library of their natural state, the tempo of their heartbeat you can almost hear, the weight of their presence in a room. Once you know they're normal, any deviation, no matter how microscopic, lights up like a siren. To the untrained eye, it's nothing. To you, it's a flashing beacon of truth. And the more you observe, the more obvious it becomes. What once felt like guesswork starts to feel like reading subtitles only you can see. Step 2. Catch the cracks, micro shifts and hidden signals. With the baseline locked, you move to the twitches between thoughts, the leaks that betray what a person tries to hide. Now you are not merely watching, you're listening with every sense. What to detect? Voice fractures. A sudden quiver, a drop in volume, or a spike in pitch mid-sentence reveals tension the words are denying. Sometimes it's a single syllable stretched too long, a breath taken too sharply. Eye language, rapid blinking under pressure, pupils dilating at a topic they claim to hate, or a darting glance toward an exit when you mention a name. The eyes are traitors. They confess before the mouth can intervene. Self-touch and fidgets. A single finger to the nose, a palm rub, a subtle shift of weight, each a subconscious outlet for stress. Notice whether these gestures come in clusters or in sudden, lonely bursts. Temporal patterns. Do these tells appear right after certain questions, right before a subject change? Track the timing like a hunter follows footprints through snow. The listening silence. One of the sharpest tools is weaponized quiet. After they speak, stay silent. Let the pause stretch. Most people can't endure the vacuum and will fill it, revealing more than they ever planned. Their need to escape silence forces truth to the surface. Training drill. Next time you're in a crowd, pick one stranger and predict before they move when they'll check their phone, scratch their face, or cross their arms. Feel the rhythm of micro shifts until the smallest tremor becomes a clear announcement. Soon you'll sense when a thought turns into intent, when a hidden worry starts to claw its way out. Step 3. Read the pre-action code, the moment before the move. Every action is preceded by body prep, a silent countdown that almost no one notices. This is where prediction becomes near prophecy, where you step out of time and watch the future load itself like a program. Signals of imminent action. Micro-expressions. Flickers of anger, fear, excitement, or guilt flash across the face for fractions of a second before the mask snaps back. A corner of the mouth tightens. An eyebrow twitches, each a prelude to the next act. Breathing cues. Quick, shallow breaths breaths betray panic or urgency. One sudden deep inhale is the body arming itself to speak, strike, or flee. Listen for the tiny catch in the throat that signals a decision made but not yet acted on. Muscle priming. Watch for tiny shifts of weight onto the balls of the feet. A shoulder tightening, fingers flexing, muscles loading like a spring. Even a faint rolling of the ankle can mark the instant before motion. Directional gaze. Eyes dart to where the mind intends to move. A glance at the door means the thought of leaving already exists. A flick toward an ally signals a silent pact. Scenario mapping. When you sense these pre-action signals, start running mental simulations. If they're leaning forward with a clenched jaw, what's the next likely move? A confession? A sudden exit? A verbal attack? Preparing 3 responses before they act makes you untouchable. Field exercise. In everyday settings, a cafe, a subway platform, watch for the instant when someone decides to stand before they actually rise. Note the breath, the micro-lean, the flick of the eyes. Train until you can silently count down 3, 2, 1, and watch them move on cue. It will feel almost supernatural the first time, as though you reached out and pulled their strings yourself. Step 4. Orchestrate the environment. Bend the frame before they enter it. Reading people lets you predict the next move, but shaping the environment, the very frame in which they make their choices, lets you guide that move before they even arrive. Think of it as arranging the stage before the actor walks on. Lighting, sound, temperature, seating, the unspoken mood of a room, all of it programs the nervous system. Most people never notice these cues, yet their bodies respond long before the mind catches up. Environmental triggers to control. Spatial dominance, where someone sits changes how they think. Place a chair slightly off center, and most people will angle their body toward you, unconsciously granting you authority. A higher seat, literally a few inches taller, signals quiet dominance without a word. Sensory priming. Smells, background music, even the hum of a fan can shift emotional states. Soft, low-frequency sounds, slow breathing, and lower resistance. A subtle scent of citrus sharpens focus and makes agreement feel natural. You're not manipulating feelings, you're directing the atmosphere so decisions slide toward the outcome you've planned. Tempo control. The rhythm of a conversation is a hidden metronome. Slow your speech, and heart rates follow. Speed it up at the right moment, and adrenaline spikes. Pushing someone to act before doubt can surface. Visual anchors. A strategically placed object, a book, a photo, an open notebook can steer attention and seed topics without ever being mentioned. The human eye chases contrast. Use that instinct to guide where their thoughts begin. Practical drill. Before your next important conversation, arrive early. Adjust the space. Angle the chairs. Choose the lighting. Place a single striking item within their peripheral vision. Then watch as their body language aligns with the stage you've set. They will believe they're making spontaneous choices. You'll know the script was written the moment they stepped inside. Why this works? The brain is a prediction engine. Change the signals it receives from the environment, and it quietly rewrites its own expectations. By the time words are exchanged, the decision has already shifted in your favor. You're not forcing an action, you are bending reality so that action feels inevitable. Master these 4 layers: baseline, micro shifts, and pre-action, and you stop being a participant. You become the unseen strategist, the one who acts while everyone else reacts. When you can read the next move before it happens, control isn't taken, it's simply yours, waiting for you to claim it.